wishes. It's Holly. Welcome to Dandelion Stitches. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy that you chose me today. So how are you? Are you okay? Are you hydrating? Are you taking time for yourself? Are you getting hugs? It's okay to ask for a hug, you know. Well, for people that you know, it's probably a little inappropriate to just, on the street, hey, could I have a hug? Although, I don't know, maybe that's the answer. The answer to world peace. Go out and hug random people. Not a good idea. But anyway, I'm thinking about you and hoping that you're all just good. It's Christmas for me. It's time. I know that for a lot of you, it's not until after Thanksgiving, and I respect that. I really do. But it's Christmas for me now. It's yeah, I don't mean to sound grim because it's not, I really don't. But when you're given a diagnosis of something that you know could end not so good. Every holiday, every simple kind of thing is especially enjoyed because you just don't know. You don't know if there's what the next Christmas is going to look like. So since I am a fan of especially lights, I love me a light, I'm just going to enjoy it. So I have trees and, So this is the first part of a two-part video. So many of you asked for a mitten, how I made my mittens. And as I went about starting to film how I made the mittens, I realized that it's how you make mittens, but it's also how you take a pattern that suggests that you do it one way and you decide, I'm going to adapt this and do it the way I want to do it. So this is, I'll show you what the pattern is. You can grab the pattern. There may be other patterns out there that are way better than this one. I'm not sure. I didn't really do a whole lot of looking, but I went ahead and did the the blocks from the quilters card box. Again, I made the mitten tops out of one of those blocks, two to be specific. But you don't have to. In fact, your life will be a whole lot easier and you will make mittens much more quickly if you don't do it that way. But you could use corduroy, you could use more regular quilters cotton that you just really like the pattern, which I think I'll be doing a lot more of because boy, are they easy then. Really, the world's the limit. I kind of, I have a sweater that I kind of love the sweater, but I don't love how it looks on me. And so one of these days, I think I'm going to cut that sweater up. I know it's scary, but I think I'm gonna do it. But anyway, back to what we're here for. So the first part of the video is going to be the outside of the basics, what you're going to need, how you're going to, here's the pattern, blah, 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 and the exterior of the mitten. And then the second part of the video will air the next day. And it's going to be the inside, the lining part. And I am going to use Minky, and again, you can really use anything you want. I mean, you could put batting in between and just use quilters cotton again for the inside. You could use anything, flannel, anything would work. So just, when you look at them and you think, oh, I'd like a pair of mittens, just let your brain go crazy. I want mittens that are purple and red or, whatever works. I want purple ones to match my boots. I have purple boots. Whatever you want, you just make it. So I do make it work on these mittens in order for them to work well for me. And it gives you an idea of what you might need to do to make them work better for you, because everybody has a different size hand. And so let's go and make a mitten. Okay, let's talk about what we need to make mittens. I used this pattern. It is, I used it as a guide, let's just say. I kind of didn't go with the entire pattern. Just as an example, this pattern has got elastic here. I didn't do elastic. They were too tight with elastic, and I don't want to fuss with it. They're, my finished ones come up far enough. My watch gets in the way, but that my coat could go down over the top. And so anyway, you're going to need the pattern. You're going to need to make copies of the palm, the fingers, and the back. So it's this part, palm, fingers, back. It explains to you how to measure to decide whether or not you are a small, medium, or large. I thought through my measurements I was a medium, but I was really a small. So you're going to want to cut them out, you know, the patterns out to whatever size you end up thinking that you are. So you also are going to need to cut with. I used scissors quite a bit. A measuring, do I even need this measuring thing? I don't know. I don't remember, but you always have it out. Pins, it was easier for me to hold layers together and work the pattern using pins as opposed to 2 clips. Because the Minky is slippery, and I just liked pins better. But you know what? You do you. If you'd rather do clips, that's just fine. A marking, did I use the marking? I don't remember. The problem is that I made them twice and I don't remember exactly how I did it, but it's always good to have a marking thing. Hopefully you won't need a seam ripper, but, you know, be prepared. So then I decided what I was going to use for, the back of my mittens. And I went with, Formal Garden. It calls for 3 colors and I only used 2, but again, you do you. So I made 2 of these, and these are going to be the backs. But here's where first of all, you're going to need to get funky with, see, here's the back of the mitten, and I've got quite a bit of extra, but what I want on the back of the mitten is the center. So if I put the mitten pattern down, I'm really only using the middle of this, but it's not quite long enough. So I just cut a random number. It was like a leftover piece, and I cut enough to put on the bottom so that I would be able to move the pattern around however I would want it. I could maybe go diagonally. Think about that. But it's still going to need a little extra on the bottom. So that would be the first thing to do, is add that little extra bit to the bottom so that you know you've got enough fabric when you do go ahead and cut. Then you need to decide, what are you going to use for the mitten, the fingers, and the palm. And I think that I am just gonna, I had more of this left. I think this is what I'm gonna make it with. I was sort of thinking about doing pink, but I think I'm gonna do those. So that will be the fingers and the palm. And you'll need yourself whatever you're gonna line it with. I chose Minky because Minky is soft, and black and white are all I have at the moment. Oh, I take it back. I have like baby pink, but that's no good, I don't think. So, first step is going to be sew on the bottom pieces, and then we will start cutting the pieces of the mitten. Okay, a couple more things. 1/4 inch seam throughout. And it suggests that you use batting in between your lining and the outside of the mitten. Having made them without batting, I feel like for me, they're plenty warm. The thing with the extra bulk of the batting inside is it starts to make it difficult to like get your hand around the steering wheel or get your whatever you need to do. That extra piece of batting kind of makes the mittens fluffier, and if that's what you want, that's awesome and super easy. And you just gonna cut all the pieces out of batting and sew them onto the front pieces. I just don't want it, so I'm not going to show you how to do it, but it tells in the pattern what to do. So anyway, I have decided that I'm going to go kind of diagonally a little bit wonky. So I'm going to pin the pattern on. Got told in one of my comments that I needed to not sing, and it's so hard for me not to sing. It's like I don't think about it. I'm just working on something, and I just kind of but I certainly did not want to be offensive. Okay, so you can see I didn't need anywhere near this much width of this piece I sewed on, but you never know. Let's see, this one is about 4.5 inches. You easily could get away with 3, but you know, it's all up to you. Now, I'm going to cut it out as opposed to using the rotary cutter. I just sort of found that I thought it was a little bit more accurate, and I was less inclined to cut off the pieces of the paper. Okay, so if you have a scrap basket kind of thing, will just throw this in the scrap basket, because you never know, you might need a little something. Well, something. So let's take off the pattern and have a look-see. Time is it? It's full time. And ta-da! The back of the mitten. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Okay, so now you're going to do the exact same thing with the other one, and we'll move on to cutting the fingers and palms, or fingers and, yeah, palm. All right, we're going to start with the palm, and for both of these, we need to cut 2 mirror images of each other, so that one thumb comes out on this side and one, so it works out. So the thumbs are on the thumb side of your hand. So the fabric I cut out 2 at a time, and just make sure that it's folded over and that either the insides are together or the right side is together. However, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do it with the insides together. So we're just going to pin it down and cut around, and then the same thing with the fingers. Again, the fabric is folded in half. You pin it on, cut around it, and you've got, that's it, basically, your pieces for your hand. Okay, one more thing. My fabric, it has a design where I might want to have a certain color showing more, or a certain area showing where I want it. So if you've got fabric that's either directional or that's got a certain pattern that you kind of want to fussy cut to get it where you want it, just keep that in mind before you cut that. That's where you want to place your piece, is where the item underneath is going to be cut. In the, for example, this one has this pink dot and these dots, and I wanted to get those dots in there. So that's the way I placed the pattern. Onward to cut. Okay, so we've got 2 palms and 2 fingers, and we're just gonna stick them on top of each other, and you'll notice that the thumb is on one side on this one and the other side on that one. So then we're gonna just stick them together and pin or clip. You could clip it this time, or do nothing. And we're gonna start kind of here and go around. I'm just gonna put a pin there. Don't sing, Holly, don't sing. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing with the other one. And unlike pieces that you're quilting together, these are not going to be exact, because I'm not an exact cutter. So we're going to go to the machine and we're going to stitch up our thumb placement. Alrighty. Here we go now. Please don't suck up the thread. Please don't. Thank you. Let's see, we're a little close to the edge there, so I'm just gonna go back better. Okay, now you take your little shears here, and we're just gonna make little cuts in the curves. And then at the end of the mitten, thumb. Okay, here's where things get a little wonky. And I'm not really sure why they did the pattern this way, but the mitten fingers and palm, if we do it this way, you can see it's much bigger than that. So I just start pinning. I usually start at this corner and pin my way up and around, and when I get over here I kind of snip some of this off because I just don't, it doesn't need it. I don't know, like I said, this is where things get a little wonky. So actually I think I will go ahead and take some of it off now. All right, so this one's really not too bad. You're going to want to sew it on the side where the thumb is so that you can keep an eye on that thumb and make sure that it's not going to get caught in the seam.
So when you sew it, you're gonna, excuse me, you're gonna pull the thumb towards you and just do that 1/4 inch right along there. Trust me, it seems weird, but it works. We've got some more going on here. I know, you're thinking this is like the worst tutorial ever, but in the end, all shall be revealed and okay. I probably did something wrong somewhere along the line, but that's just life. At least my life. I'm always messing up something. You just keep going, you just keep working your way around, easing in where you can, and to the best of your ability, making the ends come out right. So here again is the thumb.
You know how they talk about quilting as you go? Well, this is making mittens as you go. So I'm just going to stitch up one side, round down to the other side. When I get to the thumb, I'm just going to push it over and just go ahead and stitch through all that little chunk of fabric, and it'll be okay. Okay, so we need to turn them right side out. Already did that one. To the thumb. This one, the thumb came out a little bit big. I might, it's fine. Okay, so the outside of the mittens are done. You got a little bulk in the thumb area, but that's okay. So now I'm going to press them, and we're going to end today's tutorial here with the exterior of the mittens finished, and tomorrow we will do the lining. All right, this is the end of part 1. Stay tuned tomorrow for part 2. Be well, be safe. Love you, bye.